Hey folks, it's Monday again, which makes it time for another edition of Man Skills. Are you this guy? Do you run around looking like a full-fledged mountain man but don't know how to change a tire? Well, today's your lucky day, friend, because I'm going to show you how to change that tire and hopefully save that chin sweater of yours. There are a couple of prerequisites to changing a tire, and they somewhat go hand in hand. First off is having a spare. Second thing is having air in it. Kind of hard to do if you don't know where it's at. So when you get a new car, or rent one for that matter, figure out where your spare tire's at. In this Grand Cherokee, it's out for everybody to see in the back of the vehicle. A lot of times, it's underneath a panel right here in the back in an SUV, or in the trunk in a sedan, or in the case of a pickup truck, you'll often find it underneath in the back with some sort of clever mechanism holding it up there. And if you look around for a little while and can't quite seem to find it, do that thing that nobody wants to do. Go to the directions. Get in the owner's manual, and it's going to show you where all the stuff is at. Not only the tire, but the lug wrench and the jack and all that other stuff, because it might not be co-located with the tire. Now that we've got all that out of the way, let's move on to our scenario where we have a flat tire. There's an order of operations when you're doing this stuff. Start with taking out the spare tire. I say start there because if you get that spare tire out and figure out that it doesn't have any air in it, well, then you haven't messed with getting all the other stuff out. So start with the tire. Now you might notice that this tire has some speeds on it. If you have a full-size spare, this shouldn't be an issue. But with a lot of these little donut tires, they're only rated at a maximum of 50 miles an hour or 55. Each one of them varies a little bit. That's because they're just a get you down the road to the next service station, sort of a stopgap. They're not meant to be left on there for weeks or months at a time. Now that we know there's air in the spare, we've got to get out the rest of the stuff. And in this case, in the Jeep, the jack, the tire iron, all the other assorted business is underneath this seat here. Another thing that's very, very important to know where it is this oddball looking thing. If you have nice rims, or even stock rims a lot of times will come with this. This is a tire lock. This prevents someone from stealing your awesome gold painted Jeep factory rims. You cannot get that off unless you have this key. So whatever you do, when you get that new car and you're figuring out where your spare tire is at, take a look and see if you have one of these oddball deals. If so, you better make sure that you know where this is. Put it somewhere where you won't forget it, either in the glove box or with the rest of the tire changing gear under the seat or wherever it goes. Now, where were we? Getting out the jack, the lug wrench, also known as a tire iron, and depending on the sort of a jack, you'll probably have a crank handle, something like this. Next, get under the vehicle and find a nice solid place to mount the jack. Like the axle, the main part that connects the two wheels together, that's the best place to do it. You might have to turn this thing for a little while, but thankfully there's a little knob down here so your fingers can do it. Now you finally crank this thing all the way up to where it's in contact with the axle. Stop there. There's something else that needs done before you jack it up. Before you jack it up, take your lug wrench and loosen, just loosen, all the lug nuts. Don't take them off, just break them loose. Now take this hand crank and extend it. It'll probably have a little sliding keeper here. Keeps it from folding up on you while you're using it. And take this flat end, where's the flat end? Take this flat end and stick it into the slot on the jack.
Now, go ahead and start cranking it up. You don't need to lift it up real far. As you watch underneath the tire, right about the time you can see daylight under the tire, you can stop. That ought to do. Now you can go ahead and remove the rest of the lug nuts. The reason that you want to break these lug nuts loose while it's still on the ground is because some of them are pretty tight. And if you try to break it loose while it's lifted up, oftentimes it will turn. More often on front tires. Now take your spare and effectively reverse the process. When you first put it up there on the lugs, just hold it there and get one of the lug nuts on there. Just to kind of hold everything in place. I said one, what I meant was two. I'll keep it from popping out. Now don't tighten these up just yet. Get them on there finger tight. And then come around and lower the jack. As soon as you get the tire on the ground, now you can come and tighten them up. And there's a certain way to do this. Start at the top and make a star pattern. So go here, 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 here. What that does is that brings them all in sort of symmetrically so that you don't, if you tighten up these two first, it might skew the tire a little bit and throw it off a little bit. So, star pattern. Tighten that one. Now we're going down here. Okay, now go across from that. Well, we've already done this one, so go here. Now go across from that. I've already done that one, so it's that one. And now get the last one. And once you've completed the star pattern, now go all the way around once, just to make sure that you didn't miss any. Now lower the jack all the way. Make sure you grab the key to your tire lock. Throw the flat tire in the back. Gather up all your tools. And head on home, or to the nearest service station, or wherever in heck it was you were going in the first place. Now, I have nothing whatsoever against a roadside service like AAA or something like that, but there are occasions where you're out in the middle of nowhere and it's going to take them 2 hours to get there, if they can even find you. So, practice this once in a while. It may save you some time, maybe some embarrassment. It'll save your beard. Thanks for watching. Make sure that you tune in again next Monday for Man Skills. See you next time. This is Dave. Dave once beat Chuck Norris in an arm wrestling contest. Be like Dave.